Good afternoon, everyone. Thursday afternoon, so it's time for me to welcome you all to the Food for Sustainability and Grow Weekly webinar, where we discuss the latest advancements and strategies in sustainable farming. And specifically today, we'll continue exploring the exciting topic of precision agriculture, focusing on adoption, challenges, and advancements in robotics and drones, by sharing success stories of, for example, how to build a dedicated robot to assist tomato production and some innovative techniques based on drones. But before we delve into discussion, we'll uncover the hurdles for farmers of integrating robots and drones into our agriculture landscape for a more sustainable future. Let's see how the farming community progressed throughout the new millennia and still hear what needs to be done, what needs to be achieved for higher rates of adoption. And of course, to share light on this topic, we have invited a distinguished panel of experts, which I start by thanking right now. First, we have Ricardo Braga, who is an assistant professor at Instituto Superior de Agronomia, ISA, specializing in sustainable agriculture and precision farming. His research focuses on optimizing agricultural practices through the integration of technology, with a particular emphasis on precision agriculture techniques. Next, we are honored to have Cátia Pinto. She's the executive director of Smart Farm SFCOLAB, where she leads collaborative efforts aimed at promoting sustainable farming practices. With a background in agriculture economics and project management, Cátia brings a wealth of experience in fostering partnerships and implementing innovative solutions in the agriculture sector. And finally, we have with us Pedro Santos, the manager of AgroDrone, a leading company in development and implementation of drone technology for agriculture. With his expertise in drone application and data analysis, Pedro is at the forefront of leveraging technology to optimize farm management practices and improve overall productivity in agriculture. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed speakers. And of course, we can now start our dialogue to cultivate a greener and healthy planet together. And before proceed, just some house rules to remind you that our webinars are recorded. So if you're not comfortable with the recording, just keep your cameras off. Also, your questions, you can post your questions to the speakers after each speaker presentation. We will use Slido for this, but you can also use the chat here in Teams if you want us to take your questions to our speakers. And you know by now, I mentioned Slido. So let's start to do a warm-up with Slido. Let's all go to the site. So Rita is just showing us how we can do this. So let's type in www.slido.com. You will have a box, a hashtag box. So you can insert the code F4S Academy, and you should be in. You have two tabs, one for the Q&A that you can use to address your questions to the speakers. I promise I'll be very attentive to Slido, but you also have another tab, which is polls, so we can start and see what the team has prepared. Ready to warm up in our dear topic? So, and this is a topic that Ricardo Braga is surely giving us some more background and some more context, but do you have an idea of the percentage of farmers in Portugal that are interested in investing in digital agriculture? And just to give you some background, this was a report that was launched by Vodafone in 2022, where they show that Portuguese farmers see digital technologies as contributing to the success of agriculture in the future. And this factor is already, this sector, apologies, is already using some digital tools, namely to reduce fertilizers and water and to improve the soil and soil health. So how open do you think that farmers are or were in 2022 to digital technologies? Okay, so this is not very encouraging, but I will tell you that according to this report, 82% of farmers think that the future lies in more digital tools in agriculture. Ricardo, I'm sure that you have some more insights to share with us. Thank you so much for taking part. So it's at least a good starting point for us. There is willingness to adopt. And also today we have with us another collab, Cátia. Do you have an idea how many recognized collaborative laboratories exist in Portugal? So as you know, collaborative laboratories are institutions that are dedicated to transferring science to the industry. So they work in very applied cases. To tell you that the first 6 collabs were recognized in November 2017. Food for Sustainability was recognized in 2019. And there are plenty of areas for collabs, not only the agri-food, and we have collabs working in digital transformation, space, cement, paper electronics, city and mobility, child protection, energy storage, among many other. And 41 collabs throughout Portugal. Thank you so much. Absolutely right. 41 collabs we have through different funding stage, but we are a good cohort, right? And Cátia will tell us more about Smart Farm Collab. Well done. This was also a test to our team internally. So well done, everyone. Thank you so much for taking part. Great, 41 collabs in Portugal. So it means that we are serious about transferring knowledge to the industry. And now a more technical question. Pedro is knowledgeable on these technologies, but do you know how spectral mapping can help to detect signs of stress in plants? So spectral mapping to detect stress in plants. Is it because they detect evapotranspiration rates? Is because there is the ability to analyze spatial and temporal changes in leaf change? Is it because they detect change in light reflection? Or is it because their ability to predict rainfall pattern at the plant level? So while you vote, so one of these analysis or early detections, they definitely allow to identify stress factors such as nutrient deficiencies, water stress, pest infestations. And what's more interesting is that this becomes, this can be detected even before it's visually apparent. So this allows an early detection for a timely intervention. We can, of course, help to prevent crop losses and improve overall plant health. So indeed, you're absolutely right. Spectral mapping detects stress in plants by analyzing change in light reflection at different wavelengths. Well done. So healthy plants, they indeed reflect light differently compared to stressed or diseased plants. So they capture, spectral imaging captures these variations in light reflections, and this will allow farmers to identify the stress factors, such as the ones that I spoke. So well done. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you, Rita, for sharing and preparing the Slido. I think we have done our warm-up. Thank you so much. I now call Ricardo Braga to the stage. And also to tell you that Ricardo Braga holds several academic degrees. He has a bachelor in agronomy, a master in tropical agriculture production, both from ISA, and a PhD in agriculture operations management from University of Florida. Currently, Ricardo is an assistant professor at ISA, where he teaches courses at bachelor and master level in general agriculture and machinery, precision agriculture, and modeling of agriculture systems. Ricardo has participated in several projects in areas such as precision agriculture, crop management, optimization, crop simulation models, and technology dissemination and adoption. Right, Ricardo?
Yes.
So the floor is now
Claudia.
yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I will share my screen now. Okay, so what I have done, okay, so do you see my full presentation now?
Yes, perfect.
I will put my timer here so that I respect the timing.
Don't worry too much, I'm here to assist you.
Okay, thank you. So yes, thank you for the presentation. So I've been working on precision agriculture since 1996, when I moved to the United States to study for my PhD. And I had the opportunity to work, although my degree was from University of Florida in the South. I did my PhD with the field experiments with the farmer in the Corn Belt region of the United States, in the Michigan, the state of Michigan. And very soon, at that time, the U.S. was 20 years, at least 20 years ahead of Europe in general, and comparing to Portugal, much even more advanced. So I had the opportunity of more or less seeing the future of what would happen in Europe, and that gave me some prospects on the limiting factors of on the process of adoption. And that's why I have this title, Precision Agriculture, the Ingredients of Adoption. And also I saw all the videos of the former seminars on precision ag in the SFCOLAB, so I could complement my presentation. And so I would start to, I assume that all the audience is in some way related to agriculture. So you know the challenges that we face, and that's also one of the reasons why the collabs are welcome in order to help us solve some of these challenges. And so this is a myriad of challenges that we have to face. And I won't go through all of them, but I will say that most of the challenges that you see listed here are challenges that are behind the farmer's gate. So they are market problems, they are societal problems, they are problems that one single farmer in his own management can't do much about it in their everyday practice, like price volatility, the rise in production costs. No single farmer, no matter how large he is, he cannot change fertilizer prices and so on. So the philosophy here is to think that what each farmer can do in his everyday practice is to be a good farmer. And being a good farmer means to be efficient, to use the resources, the available resources in a good way, in an efficient way, in order to reduce environmental damage of practices and reduce costs and increase yields. And so, as we all know, and it's mostly agreed upon, that in order to meet these challenges, we need to work in three components. One is agroecology, which is I believe the main objective of Food for Sustainability Collab. Then we have the digital contribution, the digital tools, which is the topic of our conversation today. And then lastly, we have the genetic revolution that has already been happening for many years and will go further in the next years. So I will also show you the definition of precision agriculture. And this slide comes to my mind because it's always good to know what we are talking about. And in a former seminar, I saw that I don't remember who exactly, but with the definition of FAO was brought, and so it reminded me of showing you the ISPA, which is the International Society for Precision Agriculture. They have a definition since 2019, 2020, even though precision agriculture exists from since the 80s of the last century. So it's not new. It's something that is going on for more than 40 years and or 30 years at least. And so it's good, very good that we focus on the definition. And if you read it carefully, at least the bold parts, it says it's a management strategy that gathers, processes, analyzes data, plant and animal data. Actually, the animal part was just introduced in 2024, so this year was a revision to amplify even more the definition. And that combines to support decisions with the objective of efficiency, productivity, quality, profitability, and sustainability. And so we can look at this definition and observe at least three attributes of this definition. Is that one is that it doesn't define tools. It doesn't have the word technology, and this is really important. And to contrast with the topics of the seminars that focus on technology, and that's in my opinion that's the beginning of the problem in the adoption process. And then also that the definition is broad and is horizontal. So it means that having a water soil probe installed in a field for water management, irrigation management, is already the beginning of the process, all the way through robots, all the way through much more advanced tools. And so you can check the definition on this link. And so I found this interesting image. You have the reference there, the credit. So this is an image that combines the agroecological side and the technology side and the digital side, which is there is one of the myths that we always have to combat is the idea that digitalization and technology can only be used for big farms, market-oriented farms, which cannot be farther from the truth. In fact, technology must be combined at different scales and can solve problems at different scales. So this is a beautiful image that stresses that possibility. And so my first point that I want to make here is the adoption of precision agriculture has been slower than expected. So we all have seen very futuristic presentations on precision agriculture with robots. We go to YouTube channel and search for robots in agriculture, and we see amazing tools, amazing solutions, drones, everything. But the problem is that in reality, adoption, first of all, we need to define what is adoption of precision agriculture, because adopting precision agriculture is not having a tool. It's not, if I buy a drone, doesn't mean that I am doing or that I'm practicing precision agriculture. So that's also again the beginning of the problems. I have there having versus using versus results, which is where I think we should focus. It's not on every questionnaire on precision ag adoption, what it's doing, and including the national, the INE, our national statistics agency. What it does is going to farms and checking checklists on, does it have a yield monitor? Yes. Does it have? Does it use remote sensing imagery? Yes. And then conclude that precision ag is being adopted, and that's wrong in my opinion, because precision ag is about results. So the only way that we can evaluate adoption is through, that's what I defend in many circles that I talk, is the certificate, to find a certification on what is precision ag adoption, and what and evaluate the progress of the adoption by evaluating the impact on decisions. And so we have barriers, and that is the answer to what is the limiting factor. And I see barriers for adoption on three levels. I see the demand side, the farmer side, which is usually most of the times what is called upon by saying, okay, farmers, they need more capacitation, they have their education level is low. They are not aware of the technologies, which is according to the Slido question that we had. We see that on the demand side, farmers, and that's my personal experience in the field, is that farmers are innovators. Right now, farmers, and this is something that changed in the last 10 years, is that 10 years ago, it was difficult to listen to a farmer saying that, okay, we need research, we need the universities, we need the collabs and so on to help us deal with the future. And right now, that's common, and farmers are open to innovation. So I don't think that the problem, the limiting factor for adoption, is at the farmer side. After that, we have the market/policy issues. We have the internet connectivity issue, which is a problem. We have the policy side, the public policy side, which, in my opinion, what we have seen in the current, or well, now we have a new government here in Portugal, but the former government, the policies that came out on promoting precision agriculture were mostly promoting investment in tools. Again, the hardware versus the software versus the actions versus the results. We're more on financing drones, financing tractors, financing this, and that's, in my opinion, that's not the way to promote precision agriculture. And then lastly, we have what I think is the limiting factor is the supply side. What are service and technology suppliers doing that make the services and the products of precision ag not being as adopted as we wished for? And so. But so, for simplicity's sake, I have here classified the impacts of precision agriculture at the farm level in four main groups. The first one is GPS assisted and automatic driving. Second one is automatic control of working with the swath control. Third is the fleet management, so real-time monitoring of the machine. And then lastly, the variable rate of seed, fertilizer, phytopharmaceuticals, and water. And that's but the reason for this slide is that if we sort this by adoption, the first GPS assisted and automatic driving would lead by far. So if we go to a farm especially in the center south of Portugal, it's common to see GPS installed on tractors to help farmers drive in the fields and avoid overlaps and misses in the field. On the other hand, if we sort this by impact, the number 4 impact on sustainability, on farmer profits and yields, by far the last one will be the one with more impact. So we have here a problem. The ones that are more easily adopted are not the ones with the largest impacts on the wished results. And so I have here this slide, which is a very simple tool that is an assisted driving by global navigation satellite system. And we have to should use this as a paradigm for what is with this tool that is being so easily adopted by farmers, and by understanding that, we can then do the same with the other tools and services that are lacking behind in terms of adoption. And in my opinion, if we look closer, this tool has 3 attributes that make it really easy to adopt. And first one is the benefits are very easy to anticipate and quantify. It's a percentage of the cost of the operation between 7 and 8%. It's well studied. It's reproducible results, so it's easy to quantify. The cost of the equipment is from zero, from an application that you can download of the internet through a more complex equipment, but it's moderate and well defined again. And third, it's extremely easy to use. So there is the combination of these 3 attributes make it a success. So in the beginning, in 2003, when we were promoting precision agriculture throughout the country, this was something that we talked about. And then after 2-3 years, it made no sense because it was already common among farmers. And so, and that's the last part of my presentation. So I created by thinking about the process, by reading the literature and meditating on my personal experience, I have created a list of 18 items, 18 aspects, and I call them attributes on the supply side of the solutions that favor adoption. And my intent is that this list could be used by both in 2 ways, at least. One, by solution development for suppliers, and I include those in probably the audience that we have in this event. So these are the ones that are developing products or services for the market, and that's a checklist that you should go through in order to evaluate if your service or product is market ready, so that in the end, if you don't have the success, you don't look for causes that are on the demand side, but you look into your own product's problem, and maybe if you redefine your solution, you will have higher success in adoption. And also, this is one way of looking at it. The other way is if you are not developing, but you are acquiring tools or services, you could also use this list in order to evaluate if the product or service is the right purchase for your case, for your farm. And so I won't go into all of as I told you, it's 18 point list. But I mean, the first three are related to the ones that I have just told you about. So it's very clear. It's very important that you have a clear and advantageous value proposition aligned with the objectives. So I have seen many products that, and this is a general situation where you have platforms that are providing data to the farmer, for instance, NDVI maps, um, thermal maps, and without pointing out to the solution, to the decision, the farmer is confused with its use. Okay, so in my experience, if we can't stop at the data level, we have to go further into the decision level. So we have to provide a tool that not only identifies the problem uh, clearly and with no ambiguity, and then give the solution to the farmer, because the farmer all of a sudden it's not going to change into a data analyst or a super agronomist that can relate 18 layers of data. So you need to provide that within the tool, and that should be self-explanatory. So the benefits should be easy to identify and directly applicable. For instance, in one solution that I work with, I have NDVI maps, I have thermal maps that are able to point to plugged lines, to leaks in the fields, and these are the starting point. These are the entry points for farmers. Is something that they can see the direct application and the direct impact of the investment they are doing in the tool.
Ricardo, we need to start wrapping up.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
our time is running short. Sorry.
Yes. I'm sorry for that. So just to speed up and just to point another key points that I think are important. The cost, not only the acquisition cost, but the maintenance cost is also really important. Simple to use by diverse users in the institution, the farm. Possible and easy experimentation. Some of the tools are not easy to experiment without the purchase, without an investment. So if you have in the pre-adoptions phase, if you have something that can be easily experimented at the context of the farm, it will help adoption, full integration and compatibility with the existing operations. So also a key, open to data input and output, after sales support and training by seller and representative. This is something that seems obvious, but in Portugal we have many cases of equipment providers that only sell the equipment and give no support further on to the farmer to use it. Existence of a user community also key, as you might see. Data security, favorable legal and regulatory framework. Of course, if you have an incentive that helps the adoption, scalability of the solution, so solutions that can grow with the business are preferred by farmers. Flexibility, customization, and adaptation to each context. So you can adapt to the size, you can adapt to the farming activities is also key. Incremental implementation, accessibility on multiple platforms, demonstration plots, innovation and continuous use improvements, which is the idea of the adopter, that the tool is constantly being upgraded and to grow with the needs. And finally, a key issue is the credible validation by independent institutions. So you're just not saying it that it's good, but it's validated not only by you but also by credible institutions. And so that's it. I
Ricardo,
I
thank you
behaved
so much.
really badly. I took 10 more minutes than I should.
Yeah, you need to apologize to the other speakers.
I'm
But
really
thank you so much, Ricardo. It was a very interesting and comprehensive and give us a round picture also about the problems of precision agriculture. I have just one question while I give time for our participants to raise a question to you. So I know that you have been working in precision agriculture for several decades now, we can tell. And in 2001, you have wrote that precision agriculture adoption was nearly to zero in Portugal. And in 2017, you have noted that Portugal already had a representative number of adopters. So my question is, based on your presentation, where do you think the progress was? Do you think it was more from the technology side,
yes.
so things were getting um, easier and the value proposition, or do you think that there was also some evolution in terms of the mindset and literacy of farmers? And Ricardo, just before you answer, I have a
Yes.
hands raised. I need to ask you to write your question in the chat because when we cannot give time to
Yes.
participants. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Claudia. That's a very good question. So that goes back to what I said is what is adoption, and is it having a drone is adoption? I don't think so. And I've to till today we don't have. I don't believe in questionnaires and evaluating adoption by listing out what you have as equipment, okay? Because what I explained in the list. I think what made a big difference in Portugal is if we go on a broad side of the definition of which is the right definition, how many farmers are using soil probes for irrigation? That's a myriad of farmers. How many farmers are using sentinel imagery on a weekly basis? That's also we can't evaluate that, but that's a huge amount of farmers. And also interesting there is that this is a free service. So the free service and the free availability of data, the weekly available satellite data from the European Union made a huge impact in perceived adoption. Let's call it that way. And so to answer your question, I am sure the evolution has been huge. We still yet to quantify the real impact in terms of changing and optimizing the efficiency, because we in Portugal, unfortunately, we don't have the culture of evaluating policies. So if for instance the water use efficiency in agriculture measure that we have been for some years now, there is no study on the impact of that policy on the water saving at the farm level, at the regional level. So no one knows how to answer that question. Just to finish that, by saying that I believe that the limiting factor is on the supply side, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be doing the work of demonstration of what is digitalization, or for instance, as Cátia's collab is doing, having projects on more affordable solutions. So that all plays a role. My point is that when the tool is right and when the service is right, the adoption happens, and we don't need to convince the farmer. It's done by the
Yeah.
product.
Exactly. I think that's also a good point. I can see that Gonçalo Cidrais is still trying to type. So my suggestion, because we are really running late, is that we keep your questions at the end of webinar. If Ricardo can stay a little bit longer and we'll engage in a conversation, you're not forgotten. I just wanted to stress that I really like your approach in terms of, this precision agriculture is a process. This should be done in stages, and that farmers should not think that the technology will replace some of the knowledge, like knowing your context, knowing what are the causes of what you're doing. And I have seen that some people, some farmers adopt these precision tools, hoping that the technology will replace this knowledge. But that's a very interesting conversation. We'll get back to you, Ricardo. Gonçalo, don't worry, we'll get back. Cátia, thank you so much for being here. So Cátia, she's the executive director of Smart Farm Collab, focusing on digital innovation for agriculture. Cátia holds a double PhD in biology and molecular genetics, and she previously was head of science in an agtech startup based in Sacramento, the US, specialized in microbial intelligence for sustainable intensity in agriculture. Cátia is also the author of the first worldwide pioneer results concerning grapevine microbial interaction. With 9 years of experience in R&D of the vine and wine, Cátia has been developing research over soil plants associated microbiome and their potential as biosensors of crop health, crop protection, and crop tracking. Thank you so much. Soil microbiome is a dear topic to us. So Cátia, thank you so much. The floor is now yours.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Claudia. Good afternoon. Thanks also for the invitation. And I think that after all this introduction, the question is what she's doing here talking about precision agriculture, right? Because actually, I mean, the whole work I performed before is one on microbiology of the soil. And now I'm the executive director of the Smart Farm Collab. So again, thank you so much for the invitation. I also want to say hello to all my colleagues from the panel, and afternoon for all of the colleagues that are assisting to this webinar. So what I'm trying to share my screen. So let's see if I can do it. And if you don't mind, I think it's okay, right?
Yes.
I will put bigger.
Yes, presentation mode.
Okay. It's okay?
Well, it's coming from my end, not yet.
So I hope that you can see.
Again, not in presentation mode, but Cátia, just proceed, it's fine. We'll just make it bigger in our screens.
Okay, sorry for that, because I'm watching that. So please, if you can't read, just let me know. If you don't mind, I will look for that screen over there. So because like this, I can see you also in this one. So that maybe a lot of technology that is not helping us. So in the next couple of minutes, I will talk a little bit about projects that we are going on, that we are involved also with our associates, more in particular on robotics, and now we are combining them with IoT, in this case, all for agriculture. So as Claudia said before, and before I'm going into my presentation itself, so Smart Farm Collab is also a collaborative laboratory. So we are part of this network of Portuguese collaborative laboratories. And in our case, we are that one in agriculture too, but that focus on the digital innovation, in this case for the agriculture. And so what we have is this digital transition in mind. And so the service also for the digital agriculture. So we are based in Torres Vedras, and namely in the INIAF. So if you want to visit us, please come and to visit us. It will be a pleasure for us to open our also office and the lab we have. And this is some of our associates that I think that you may know some of them, of the majority. So the big mission of these collaborative laboratories is on the transfer of the scientific and also the technology knowledge from the universities into
Cátia,
the...
sorry to interrupt, but the slides are not moving. So if you need to
I know.
press on the...
Okay, so sorry for that.
Cátia, probably you share the, you need to share the screen and
I'm
not the
doing
page.
it, but what I'm going to do is stop, and I will put in this, will be easier.
Yeah, and when you want, you have the screen and you have the window, and you need to select the screen and your second screen where you see the full mold presentation.
So let's try again. I will put there because we have a lot of time, so it's always like that. And now it's okay.
It's the
Please.
same. It's not, you're not sharing full mode, but
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yes, great.
It's in
Thank
full
you,
mode?
Cátia.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it was here not. You didn't saw this one. Are you seeing it's our associates?
Yes, yes, your associates.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Perfect.
So sorry for this. So technology is something that we work, and we believe us, we work very well. Not in this case, that is my fault. So as I said before, so we are on the transfer of the scientific and also technology from the universities and also into the companies. And so that's reason why we have this, all of the members that represents both all the I mean the academia, the laboratories, the companies, and so on. So this is, all the collabs have different agendas, R&D agendas. So in our cases, as we work on these digital innovation in agriculture, so we can never dissociate from what, and Ricardo said very well, smart technologies and also the data. So we have to work on together, but also we need to put them into the ecosystem. And so we need to follow them to maximize not only the use, but also the adoption of these technologies and the new tools. For sure, we have to survive, and we need to promote different business services that can be all for the SFCOLAB's members and the SFCOLAB ecosystem, but all to the agro sector in order to create also values by using these technologies. And to create this adoption of the new technologies, we need to perform the technical support, and one of that can be all for the SFCOLAB's members and the SFCOLAB ecosystem, but all to the agro sector in order to create also values by using these technologies. And to create this adoption of the new technologies, we need to perform the technical support, and one of the parts, we need to be stronger on this capacity building and also training. And so on. The work that we most provide is the co-creation of the innovative solutions together by listening the needs of the companies and trying to promote, for example, different projects and apply for different projects in order to create, in this case, the projects and also solutions that can be used for the agriculture sector. So these are some of our images that we have in all days that we can see on the TV, on the social media regarding the application of the digital technologies, the robots, the tractors, and so the drones and so on, the virtual reality. And so bringing some potential examples and live projects that we have been involved with. So this is one, the Smart Farm 4.0. This project finished last year, so in June 30 exactly, the 2023, in which Tomix, that is a company leader also on the spraying technology in Portugal, was the entity leader of this project. So this project born for the dream, let's say, from the different farmers, in this case from the greenhouses farming production here in the western, in Torres Vedras region, so in the western region of Portugal, because we have a lack, and this is transversal to the other areas and also to Portugal, of the manpower. And so one of the big challenges was to create or to develop, let's say, an autonomous robot, a vehicle in this case that can be used, for example, to harvest, in this case, tomato. So what we did, it was a lot of visits in these greenhouses to design a machine, a robot that could be fitted in these greenhouses, and also to recognize the different fruits, in this case tomatoes, but also then we can apply it for other kind of vegetables, and so to have these stages of the ripening, also to recognize the ripening stage, to depict it, and then to diverse according to the fruity counting, and also to the analysis of the vegetables that could be interesting for the selling process. So this project involved the majority of the associates from the Smart Farm Collab. And so what we had, it was to design a modular and also configurable autonomous vehicle for the tomatoes. So the first step was the tomatoes. And so what this robot has is a lot of different cameras that are using first to detect, in this case, a tomato, and then also according to the ripening stage and also the size of the fruit, and then it can divide it according to these characteristics into different boxes. So maybe you have already seen these robots, because we had some showcases last year. So this is the I would say the vehicles autonomous, that is the robot, and then here we have, sorry, this is the vehicles autonomous, yes, and this is the robot. In this case, it's like a arm that can identify first the fruits, and then we can have this small video. So here are some cameras that identify once the fruit. Here is not collecting because this is one in one fair, and then it can also pick the fruit and putting the fruit according to the size that we can specify to the machine. So this is all the programming. And so here we have a dashboard in which we can see, for example, the counting of the different tomatoes and also the ripening stage of the tomatoes in real time. And so according to this information, then the machine can pick or not what we want. So in this stage, what we are doing, because the project is already finished, so it will be commercialized by the Tomix, that is the leader entity. And what we are doing is the final validation in real conditions, so in the greenhouses. For sure, to be already in this stage, we have a big story. And also one of them is also, so here is quite easy because it's a planar structure, but also the robot needs to identify some obstacles, and so needed to redefine its direction when it's moving on according, in this case, greenhouses, but can be, for example, after in the orchards. And so this was a big work performed by different partners. In this case, the academia, so the Nova School of Science and Technology, but also the companies as Impact Wave. So we have also tested the robots not in the easy, let's say, infrastructure, but also in the field. So here is in the field, in the vineyards, and so you can see, then you can see after the program that we have performed for the program of RTP, Faça Chuva, Faça Sol, that passed in the TV in last December, and so talks a little bit about this project. And this robot was recognized also from the IO, that is an association from the Western region for the horticulture, so the vegetables production, with the innovation prize. So this also is very important for us because we have this kind of recognition. So if you want, we can show a little video of the work of not only the autonomous robots in real conditions. So this is one of the greenhouses that we are testing. And so what we have, this robot have different, or this vehicle has different cameras, such as LiDAR, that is recognizing and performing the data analysis. And so then we integrate all in this arm to collect the fruits according, for example, the size, depending the mission that we have defined for the machine. So it's performing the picking of the fruits in the precision way, because we are testing the machine. And this is what we see in this part, is a digital twin that we are also creating. So here with the partners from IPL, so Instituto Polytechnic Leiria. So he finished his mission, is going home, and now we can see in the second part of the video is that by using the same autonomous vehicle, what we are working now is on the precision also spraying. So this is a small spraying for also greenhouses, is autonomous too. And so this is the step that we are working in another project that I will present in the next slide. So here is an example of the testing of the precision spraying. And what we are doing now is through this agenda mobilizadora that calls Tech for Green, that is led by Ascenza. So we have a work of 4 partners. So again, Tomix, because he's the partner leader on the spraying technology, the Smart Farm Collab, the Impact Wave on the programming and also the information to integrate all the data that we have, and the Uninova, that is our partner from academia. So the main goal of this project, I would say that is a version 2 of the first one, because the first one we have the picking and now we have the spraying technology. So what we want to perform, it's the intelligent spraying management here with real-time prescription of the production factors. And to do that, we are collecting some of the information that I will show you, like say with a pilot that we are working on. I would say that is a pilot with a purpose. So first of all, that is the objective number 1 is the monitoring system. And so I will show you after what we are performing in order to integrate all of this in the system, namely to the spraying operationalization. So these are the 3 big steps that we have. So this is our pilot, is also here and close to Torres Vedras, between Torres Vedras and Bombarral. So it's in the I would say in the foreign between the 2 municipalities. And so in this farm, let's say, what we are working is on pears and also on apples. And so for these monitoring steps, what we have in this pilot with a purpose is from one side the proximal sensing, from another one we are performing and we are putting low-cost smart traps, the fruit detection also, and then the UAV imagery in order to create a data set that then we can test and also to integrate into the spraying technology. So in terms of the proximal sensing, what we have is its office technology. So it's the low-cost sensing developing by a Smart Farm Collab. And so over there, what we have is not only the meteorological stations, but also the soil sensors. Another part is Ditrop Office. I mean, is our prototype for the low-cost smart traps. We are performing also, and together my colleagues are over there in the field collecting different photos for the fruit detection and also counting. And another step is the UAV imagery, so the drone imaging, in which this one is fake because it's not from our pilot, it's from another one, because we still don't have the conditions to do the drone imaging at this stage. But we want, why we want to use it, because what we want is also to use this detailed map with high resolutions map, because like this we can understand better the health status of the plant, which allow us then to create what we call detailed prescription map that can be applied in the drone. So in the spraying. So what we have is a huge matrix of data, in this case for these pears and also apples pilot, in order to then to create this data set to integrate in this spraying. So a little bit, the technology that we are using is this sensor, so the low cost and modular sensing system. In this case, what we have is in 4G technology, so the remote or the connectivity using this GSM. And what we have is a real-time communication of the conditions from the soil and also from the environmental of this field. So this is something that we are working, is just an example of what kind of data we can collect and the way that we can saw this data with this is from our infrastructure here in INEAV dos Portos. But all this information, as I said before, will be integrated together with ImpactWave, that is the partner that works all the data close with Smart Farm Collab. So as we said before, all this information that we are collecting, so we're starting to collect in this first pilot 2 weeks ago, so it's very fresh pilot. So hope next year we have already some data of the results from the first campaign. And so what we are doing is because Tomix have already, they have different spraying technologies. And so what we are going is also to use the technology that they have. So this is an example of a project that Tomix was the leader, that is the SPIN project. And so what we are going is to introduce all this data on this kind of spraying technology to perform what we call the selective spraying, in this case, according to vegetation index. So this is for the orchards, and this is the pilot number 1, because still we are looking for 2 different pilots in the Tech for Green agenda. That will be again the greenhouses, and here we will be using the small robots, let's say, because the conditions are very easier to work on. And the second one will be probably in the Ribatejo region. We are still waiting to have this pilot identified. But the main goal, so will be in tomato for outdoor vegetables, will be measurably to use different cameras in order to weed detection and then to treat also in this case, this kind of the weeds that are problematic for the cultures. So this was in my, I hope to not take a lot of time of the presentation. Some of the examples of the work that we are using from one side on robotics, and now we are integrating the IoT on this robotics. So in 2 different projects that we have going on. So please, you can follow us for more information, also to ask us, because it will be a pleasure also to work on this solution together. As I said, it's co-creation solutions. Thank you so much. And sorry for the beginning, that was not so good with my low technology.
Don't worry, don't worry. You did a great presentation and you showed a lot of technology, but let's be precise, because we have Ricardo that already pointed that precision agriculture is not a technology, but it was great. Cátia, very interesting, and congratulations on the work that you are developing. We're really pleased to see all the advancements and developments from the Smart Farm Collab, of course. Cátia, most likely this technology, the goal is to reach the market and be put at use of farmers. Can you give me just an idea of who is your persona for adopting such a robo? Who are these farmers? Can you give us a little bit more insights about their profile?
Okay, so maybe I would say, because last February, yes, we were in FIRA, World FIRA, that is one of the most important fairs for the robotics in agriculture, and we were very precise, because in this case it's not commercialized already, because we still need some time to validate the machines, the robots. So I would say that is our first pilot that we were performing it. But I was very curious, because the people that asked to buy this kind of solution as soon as in the market was farmers, for example, not only from the greenhouses, but also for the vineyards. So the vineyards asked us a lot, and they were very nice, because they asked, okay, if we can put, for example, this kind of machines together with a Moto 4, a Moto 4, should we work it or not? Because this is a very small solution that we can adapt easily. For example, not having the autonomous robots, but for example, have the spraying technology adapted for the small spaces. So we were very surprised, and we took notes, because maybe we can adapt not only for big areas of the farming, but smallest one, because as we said, our also the main focus is on the smallest farmers, not only on the big ones, but the majority of them. And as I said before, this was a project, so the first project born from the greenhouses demand. And so these are the big farmers that are asking us to test solutions and also to use this kind of robots. In particular, the first one that I showed that was for the picking of the fruits. Still, we still have a lot of work to do because we are looking, for example, when we look into the robot, we still have, I will not say problems, but challenges. And one of them is to accelerate the process, because we still need to understand in terms of the time it takes. We know that the robot can work 24 hours per 24 hours if we change the battery, for sure, but we still need to accelerate the process to have I would say to work closely with also the humans. I would say to accelerate the process and to be work on that. I saw Claudia freezing. I don't know if it's me that I work the connection, but I see go.
Yeah, Claudia is freezing.
Okay.
Let's change roles. Let us be the hosts.
Yeah, the
Claudia is frozen.
problems happens to everyone.
I'm here, so it's good that we are having a webinar on technology and precision agriculture.
It's always like that,
so
Claudia.
that we all, I really apologize. I don't know. I don't really know what happened, but I'm here. Apologies, Cátia. You were telling us about the latest developments in terms of the robots. Just one final question, Cátia, and this also relates to what Professor Ricardo Braga just mentioned. When I look to these robots, I always think about connectivity, which is always an issue, as we just, I was trying to demonstrate that to you. But also, I think the infrastructure, we saw the robot, they had clear paths, so how feasible it really is for a farmer, and how aware they need to be, and how much assistance is giving to them to ensure that the infrastructure for the robots to circulate and the obstacles are not that enable them to do their work.
Okay, so first of all, we need to identify the target that we have. For example, this one is quite easy because it's greenhouses. So we have the infrastructure quite easy to work. So the farmers are interested to have these machines on that. So we can perform, for example, the map of working to do it during the day or during the night. Well, during the night, probably in the future, because what we have is we still don't have this robot that can change automatically the batteries. So this is something that humans need to do it. But I believe in the future, this is something that we are working on. For sure, in the fields, this will be completely different. So we need to adapt the machine. So this machine, even for example, the autonomous robot is very strong and can move in different fields. It's not adapted because we need to look into the implement that we have behind. So the size of the implement, the type of the implement that we have, and the work that the implement will be performed. For sure that, for example, one of the things is depending on the type of machine, I will not say, for example, the spraying, they can work not only during the day, but during the night. So this is something that, for example, if farmers really need, and Professor Ricardo took on that, if they needed to use the technology, and if they know exactly the gain that we have on use it, they will use it because they know how can they use it. In terms of the assistance, for sure, this is something that needs to be together with the product when it is sold. And it's not only the assistance, it's the maintenance of the product. This is something that could never be dissociated, as sometimes we saw. So as I said before, so this kind of machines will be depending on the target. So the culture the crop that we are working, the type of the field, and for sure will help a lot the work that is being performed.
Yes, and that question was also raised that topic was also raised in the chat. And I think one way to achieve all the benefits that we have discussing here is this approach that you also mentioned about co-creation and ensuring that we are developing the right product to the right people. Okay,
and
Cátia.
just to emphasize, this one, the robot was so the beginning born in greenhouses. So it's something that comes from the field to in this case, from the academia and also to the companies that we are working on. So everything, also the farmers are the actors of the developing, some of farmers, not all, are the actors of the developing of in this case, in these two robots.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Cátia. We need to move on. Pedro Santos from AgroDrone. Pedro, are you ready? I understand that you also experienced some technical problems. Let's see how this works. So Pedro is an agronomist and has been dedicated to improving soil health, and plant health since the beginning of his career. Pedro has worked as an agronomist, compost producer, and mushroom grower for several companies and cooperatives. More recently, he has dedicated himself to the organic production of wine, vegetables, and mushrooms. Pedro is currently the managing partner and technical manager of AgroDrone, having dedicated himself to precision soil fertilization with soil microbiological techniques. AgroDrone is a company based in Idanha Nova and was founded in 2017, works with vineyards, olive groves, and horticulture in Portugal and abroad. Pedro, thanks for coming. Let's see if you can share your screen. No sounds, Pedro? I know that Rita and Pedro have been trying to make this work.
Okay. Are you? Okay, no. Okay.
Yeah, you need to.
Now you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Well,
Yeah, but you need to. Yeah, sound off your volume in your phone, please. And you can hear us.
Now you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So I will share my screen.
And you can hear us?
Yes.
Through the computer?
Now I'll share everything is okay now. I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay, let's start by commenting what the former speakers, Professor Ricardo Braga and Claudia and Cátia had mentioned about the necessity to give the farmer a simple way of translating all this data about precision agriculture, and mainly this spectral mapping that I will talk on this event. Well, the theme is spectral mapping of crops and its importance in phytosanitary control and crop development with precision. AgroDrone is on the market, stating that we can hear what plants say. Since before the founding of AgroDrone in 2017, we have been exploring the technical capacity to monitor agriculture crops through the radiation they emit This exploration began in the 90s with the quantification of chlorophyll in grape plants using fluorescence and specialization in plant physiology at Instituto Superior de Agronomia. With the current
sorry, but you are you are passing your slides, right?
Yes.
Because in our part you can see.
Oh, you are not seeing the slides?
You are seeing slides, but not in full presentation mode. So you probably, when you share, you have a screen and you have a window.
Yes, sorry. I will have
Don't worry.
to make a pause here and close this and pass this to this.
Probably now the better is to.
Sorry.
Yeah,
it's this. Is there a problem if I show this without the presentation being active? Because I'm using two screens and
there's not a problem, Pedro, but you need to move the slides. So you need to be clicking on the slides on the left bar, because otherwise we will be just seeing your first slide all the time.
Okay. It's this team system is better. It's more complicated than the Zoom. Are you seeing this is the first slide you are watching now, the moving on to the slides, right?
No, just click on the second slide on your left.
Yes.
You can stop your sharing, please, and then share again.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you try to share, you have the screen, okay, écran, and you have the window, janela, and you need to select the screen. And your second screen when you put your full mode presentation.
Okay. Now I'll pass on to the presentation.
It's coming.
Now, okay. Now you can see the
It's still coming, Pedro. It's still coming.
Yes.
It's still coming. We have a white screen at the moment.
A white screen?
I don't know if it's the internet.
I don't understand why. Blocking. Oh, sorry. There is something here.
Pedro, the only solution I can see for us to move forward, and because the time is running, apologies for that, is for you to send the presentation to Ana Rita, and in the Ana Rita will share the presentation. That's why we need the presentations in advance to counter for these problems. And in the meanwhile, you can start presenting AgroDrone, and we can have an idea of what AgroDrone does and the key points in terms of technology and advancements for drones, and also to share some of the insights in terms of implementation and the added value for farmers. I know you've been working in this project for a few years, so while you send the presentation to Rita, most likely you can start telling us a little bit more about AgroDrone and your experience with drones. In the meanwhile, I ask the audience if you have a specific question about drones, and if you want to share a comment, if you have used them, what is your experience, and eventually even we can ask Ricardo about also his experience. So let's take this time also to interact. I do apologize for the micros to be off, but it's a question of time management. But today, I'm not succeeding in that, so I do apologize from my end for this. But if you want to share any comment that I can pass on to our speakers, please feel free.
Okay. Well, I just sending the message with the presentation. But resuming that introduction, and I can move on.
My email, Pedro? Sorry.
To your email, yeah, Ana Rita Silva. I just sent. Well, it's a large, it's 10 megabytes presentation, so you should receive it in the next seconds. But moving on, well, my experience starts in the 90s while studying spectral bifluorescence in small micropropagated plants, vineyard plants. And when the drone technology emerged around 2013, 14, the first DJI drones, we started to having this objective of spectral mapping. We ordered special lenses to international manufacturers that we put on GoPros and start experimenting on the spectral radiation on the near the several bands of the spectrum. And then the multi-spectral cameras came up, and we gathered better drones and purchased the MicaSense multispectral camera and starting producing these spectral mappings experimental at the beginning in several farmers, meringue, strawberry, and vegetable crops, small farmers, and then we went to the market and we founded AgroDrone based on that. Now we aim for phytosanitary control, a crop that is pulverized in total area with a phytosanitary product, with a pesticide on total area of the crop it's not valid management of the agriculture company, or even the environmental damage that it produces. If we can restrict the area of application just to where it's important to apply for that application, for sure this will have great effect, and commercially for the farmers it can be seen as an advantage solution. In the other day I was just hearing a farmer complaining about the 6,000 euros of pesticide that he had to purchase. If he can manage to reduce that spending, it would be very beneficial for the farmer and, of course, for the environment. And can you move on with the slide, please?
Sure.
We can pass this one also. I've talked about this one. Also move on, please. Okay, this is a spectral mapping. You can click again. It's a spectral mapping now processed with the indices like NDVI and NDRE, thermal. You can click on, and this is the basic of what we do. We find hotspots in the total area that we give to the farmer a localized attention area that he must focus on. Please move on, Narita. With the spectral map, of a given agriculture production area. The producer and his technicians have an informative resource to allows him to act with precision to control phytosanitary problems, to improve crop development due to fertility problems in certain crop zones, some problems on even water abundance that are damaging the roots can be seen on these spectral maps. Identify the extent of problems before they become visible, and with this we state our capacity to detect problems, disease problems mainly, before they are visible to the human eye. And we are doing this in pines for the nematodes, and we are having great results on this. Control the effect of applying new products to the production area. Informed choice of other precision agriculture technologies to be applied to improve crop yield, since other sensor technologies that we can apply to give more information and layers of information to this mapping, and refine the area for intervention. And being able to apply fertilizer and plant protection products with variable rate technologies. With these mappings, we can transfer to tractors that have these variable rate technologies to make the application of fertilizer or pesticide more target specific to improve the application itself. And please another, and any other intentions from the farmer to extract or to process information that he is finding odd on his production area. Some, for instance, some curved leaves that are popping up in some specific area, and he wants to know how the extent of that area he needs to focus on. Please, another slide. And these, let's comparing agriculture activity to an industry like textiles, for example. The textile industry like this one, please move on the slide. A textile industrialist needs to know his machines in detail. You know, he or his technicians must know his machines in detail. Please click on. They need to choose the best parts for the machines, the best oils, require rigorous maintenance of all machinery and those who operate it. A breakdown due to a breakdown in an industrial production line means large losses of income for the company, for the textile company. Another slide, please. The agriculture producer's machines are the different patches of soil that cover his entire production area. That's the machinery of the farmer, it's his soil, for sure. Another click, please. You need to know them in as much detail as possible. The farmer or the company that manages the production must have the maximum control over his production capacity. Another slide, please. Spectral mapping is the first tool for agriculture producers to have geolocated centimetric information about the state of their crops. Another click, please. If it will be from this precision mapping that you will have technical decisions and organize the application of solution to achieve localized objectives to improve your crops. So on this farmer, it's a vineyard. He was attacked by cicadella, and he was preparing for a total area application of pesticide, and with a localized and at a specific time for control this pest, he could save a great amount of pesticide and with almost the same result. And this, of course, this would
we are reaching our time.
Okay, it's almost in the end.
So if you can start. Okay, thank you.
It's almost in the end. And another click, please, Sana. In this case, he could quantify and reduce his expendings almost with the same results and less damage. Another slide, please. This is the last one. Another click, please. With this, we could use only one application in 2 years in 2 seasons, where our neighbors make 10 treatment seasons. We only used 1 in 2 seasons for controlling mildew. And today, by what we see in the market, we see applications of pesticide to control mildew in each 14 days cycles. So comparing this management, I lack the term, but errors, okay. Please, another slide, Anna. We could, vineyards, another slide, please. Okay, the last one didn't win. But to wrap this up, we could, the general objective, and like Professor Ricardo mentioned it, the objective is here by AgroDrone is to present the farmer a complete solution where he doesn't have to be, of course, if he wants, he can have all the data, but we process the data and we give the farmer the areas that need to be applied and the specific products that he has to apply. He doesn't need to go for products to apply those specific compounds. We give one solution to him with the cost reduction, with a valid cost reduction for his operation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, Pedro, thank you so much for your presentation. Pedro, and I think this is following from Ricardo. So you have presented a great technology, quite a lot of possibilities, but how does AgroDrone demonstrate value to farmers?
Well, in fact, AgroDrone is struggling. Is struggling, but it demonstrates value mainly by the results.
Okay, so you need to implement first the solution, and then so you need to believe in the results. And I think this goes back to our discussion at the beginning. The benefits need to be clear for the farmers before adoption, right? So
yeah, well, no, we convince them on our talk, okay? We say, if you go with what we are saying, we will improve your crops a lot. And so that's our struggle. We don't come and convince him Our main clients are farmers that are facing huge production difficulties. They tried several agents on the market, and they never solved their problems. That's when we enter. We enter to solve those problems that nobody has solved. And up to this day,
Ricardo, from your perspective also, sorry, Pedro, thought you had finished.
It's like that. All our customers are customers that are face huge problems, and they are almost quitting. And then we enter and we solve those problems and we make that client.
Okay, good. Ricardo, I will call you to the stage now, and from your presentation, and I know you've been talking with a lot of farmers, you have done quite a lot of work in the field. How do you see? Do you have any comments in terms of demonstrating, the benefits, the value proposition, where we can be improving in when we demonstrate this sort of technology? In the case of AgroDrone, more focus on drones, and also if you want to take the opportunity to comment the conversation in the chat.
Okay. Yes. So in the chat here, Gonçalo Cidrais was acknowledging the fact that most of the suppliers were not able to give precise information, so the supply side is still the problem, and the challenge that people currently work in a company won't have technical skills. And this is included in the line where I said that there isn't much support from some of the companies. So you need to be really careful when you're buying a product. So it's not only to buy a product, it's the maintenance and the support, and sometimes even the installation and making the equipment ready to be used. So I usually call this precision agriculture of the internet. Is when you go search the sites, you see wonderful solutions, and then when you start, okay, now I have the money. That's, I think, what Gonçalo is mentioning, that he has the money on a project, he wants to buy the equipment, but now you get answers like, hey, I have had this in the past, in 2007 and 8, that okay, Portugal is such a small market that we don't even bother shipping our equipment there, or there isn't anyone doing the support in the region. So when you're buying, when you acquiring, you need to pay a lot of attention to spend your money wisely. And I have spoken sometimes with Pedro about this type of solutions, and as I say this to Precision Ag Solutions. I say the same thing for now, as some of you know, the biostimulant area of chemical products and biological products is now a huge market, and you see on the market many different products being sold. And my advice is only to apply these products. First, test it on your sites, and ask the supplier to provide you with the scientific with the biostimulants. This is for me, this should be a requisite. Where are the papers? Where are the scientific evidence of the efficacy of these products? Because
I have to tap into that. because we are just developing a tool. We have a database with 20,000 entries, over 20,000 entries, just testing microorganisms and their effects on certain cultures. And this is manually curated and all based in science, in scientific peer review papers. So we have done that work. So we know,
good.
you know, and
so you must inform the national
Claudia,
authorities.
But Claudia, what Ricardo was saying is not microbiology, but biostimulants. And that market is booming. And it's not the microbiology that you are mentioning for sure from bioreactors, but the biostimulants market lack a lot of scientific and even I will share this from a farmer here at Oeste, where he started to use amino acids, for instance, is one of biostimulants. And it gives good effect at the beginning, and then the effect drops tremendously. Because the plants must be them to produce the biostimulants themselves and not giving them one day they start they stop producing them because they are provided. Well, but it's a problem.
This is why we have developed this database, and this is why we have our soil microbiome analysis, and we give tailor-made and customized recommendations to farmers when they want to apply microorganisms in their soils. But I'm not going to delve into discussion because this is not the topic, and we are already very late. I would just like to point one final comment also from the chat. These main technologies are only applied in vineyards and almond groves. And I think this points to one of the myths of precision agriculture, that this is only for crops with high levels of return, and is only only applicable to big farming areas. Although throughout Cátia's presentation, she totally mentioned that they are targeting smaller farmers. One final comment. Is it true? Is it only happening in vineyards, which is a very professionalized sector with high returns, normally in some cases bigger areas, or we still need to give some more time for smaller farmers to adopt?
Well, I don't know if you want me to talk to answer this question.
Yes, Ricardo, a final comment.
From me? Okay. So the question is it to me, Claudia?
Yeah, Pedro was talking, but I thought it was you, Ricardo. So go ahead, and then I'll pass to Pedro, and then we finish.
Okay. So your question was if it's just vineyards or if it's broader spectrum of crops. And the answer is actually that was one of the points also that was being discussed in the chat, is that the same principles. Here in this event, we're given examples for vineyards because maybe it's interesting to know that the crop in the world where the most value in precision ag application is being used is in vineyards, and the reason for that is the impact of an NDVI mapping on variation and its impact on the harvest segmentation. And so if you try to find the crop where most adopters are using NDVI mapping, which is one of the tools, that's vineyards. But by no means, if you understand what an NDVI index is, what the thermal image is, you can and apply the scientific knowledge. You can apply it all over. And you were right, Claudia. It's a myth that only added value crops have paid for these services. And I have examples here in. I'm now in Alentejo, in a 67 hectare vineyard, where we have probes, we have imagery, not from drone but from a plane, being used to optimize water usage. I have another 34 hectare almond crop and others, tomatoes, corn, you name it. So it's a myth that you can only apply it to certain crops. If you go to the basics, to the basis of the application of the indexes, you can extrapolate to all the crops from stress identification to yield estimation to, I mean, there are a myriad of applications. For instance, in this vineyard that I am now, we have been doing for 2 years for organic fertilizer variable rate application based not on remote sensing but on soil electrical conductivity, which is another mapping tool that is extremely useful for managing crops. So it's I think one good take is that there are no recipes, and you need to look at what the farmer needs, look at the context, look at the crop, look at the objectives, and then define a solution that is made of data, is made of knowledge, is made of technology, is made. You have to create a customized solution for that specific situation. That also, and this is really important, that also accounts for the investment level of the specific farm, because and that's another myth, is that this is only for big farms. No, you have low-tech precision agriculture, you have high-tech precision agriculture. One thing is sure, you should always start low-tech and then increase the amount of technology input as you see results. That's a huge mistake, to start from the end with buying all the technology tools that are around and then look for results. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's a very interesting advice, and I couldn't agree more, and goes back to when you started providing the definition of precision agriculture. This is a management system, so it doesn't need to be high tech, and definitely we have a process and steps to follow. Thank you so much. Pedro, final remarks on this topic?
Well, I can follow by that question, that this is how the small farmers can use it. Well, I'm also a small farmer. I don't have hectares of land of my productions. And the virtue of these technologies is that they provide a big farmer, a big area farmer, the capacity to, with fast capacity, to get a prescription of his total area. Before these technologies, the agronomist or the technician must spend days on that total area looking for spots of the problem and localize and georeference those problems. Today, a drone can, with a spectral mapping, does that in minutes. But in a small farm, like, I don't use spectral mapping on my crops, okay? I just go there and look with my eyes, which is the best high-tech equipment that we can have to spot the problem and localize the problem. So in small farmers must know very well their area, their crops, and localize and reference problems, and then testing solutions to see what happens. I think these technologies for small farmers only are applicable in terms of farmers' associations.
Okay, so we go back again to the economic rationality of these technologies. Well, I now need to wrap up this webinar. I really would like to thank you for taking part. I think it was a really interesting discussion about adoption, and we have seen here very interesting, high-tech applications from lower TRLs, like the ones that Cátia has shown us, and the experience of Pedro Santos here and AgroDrone. It was really a pleasure. I have to apologize for some of the technical problems that we had. That's made us a bit late, but anyway, it was really a pleasure to hear. I learned a lot. I hope I can take some of these insights to farmers, and at least I know who to call if we want to know a little bit more. Thank you so much. Also to let you know that next week we'll have a break, and at the beginning of May we will start with a new webinar cycle. We will leave behind precision agriculture. We'll move to carbon markets, also something very interesting and on the top of farmers' minds. So please keep joining us, keep registering, and it is a pleasure to have us all with us. So thank you so much for taking part, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Obrigada, Ricardo. Obrigada, Pedro. Obrigada pelo vosso apoio. Até breve.